Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the European crossover webinar. And you can see here we just got the Eurozone market manufacturing flash PMI came in at 45.6. Reuters poll was 47.3. Services came in at 52. And composite came in at 50.4. They're looking 51.9. We do have support here. Mentioned this in the chat room at 967. You can see that right here. Actually, I apologize, 965. That's what I put in. I think I said in the chat room 966, but you can see the number. And then just the touches off of here. I think Amanda mentioned that she had 966 or 67 is a 78%, but I had 66. So 65, 7, 66. There you go. But certainly saw these weaker German PMIs that really knocked this euro right in the dirt right from the get-go and pushed it even further. So we were really some tough data came out of Germany. We'll go on and take a look where we stand right now. The dollar index, we are above. Let's come back here. We're just above this 98.75, had it is 98.74 area here. But I figure we could get a little bit above that with the European PMIs. So weak, so be careful here. Like I said, we've already reached some support here on the euro. We may see a little bit of short covering here, but to start the week, it's under quite a bit of pressure. So we'll see what happens there. Dollar CAD still pushing up against this 133 area. We've been kind of sitting there, and then cable has gone and continued to weaken a bit after making a pretty good run this last week. Actually, all the way up to the 38%. We also reached 161% of an extension, but pretty good run here, all the way up here to that 2573 area here. Thought I might even try to reach up to 126, but it made a pretty good run up there, but we're just pulling back. Some support here right now around this 24, 28-ish area here we're coming into. Dollar yen did go and see a dip on that weaker U.S. equities on Friday. And the peso trying to move up just a little bit higher here. New Zealand dollar, the Kiwi, we do have RBNZ coming up this week. So certainly remains under continued pressure. And it's just been as weak as can be. And same here, the Aussie is very weak also. So we're looking at this, just go and jump over real quickly on really these PMIs. It says the euro fell on Monday after the German flash purchasing managers index survey data for September was weaker than expected, raising fears about the health of the economy. The single currency trading around 110 before the numbers was released, dropped 4/10 to as weak as 109.72. Of course, we just saw that 966 area here. The survey showed that the German private sector activity shrank for the first time in 6.5 years in September as the manufacturing recession deepened unexpectedly and growth in the service sector lost momentum. The dollar was boosted by the euro's decline and its index, which means the greenback against a basket of currencies was up 0.3 at 98.77. Increasing talk of fiscal stimulus in the eurozone has raised bond yields in the region, although not as analysts see much of a boost in the single currency in the context of concerns about global trade and slowdown fears. We see little scope for the euro dollar, MUFG analyst said in a note. Elsewhere, foreign exchange markets were mostly quiet, although there was some signs of risk appetite as Japan's yen weakened against a higher yielding FX after talks in Washington between the U.S. and China trade deputies were described as productive. Volumes in Asia were dampened by a public holiday in Japan, and U.S.-China trade has a breakthrough. It seemed unlikely after President Trump told reporters on Friday he was not looking for a partial deal. And Chinese officials then canceled goodwill visits to U.S. farmers. Now, clarity on the story I saw, which allowed the S&Ps to move a little bit higher in the Asian session, was that was the decision of the U.S. for them not to go there, and that's why those are talks. I doubt that, but anyway, that's what was the story coming into Asia, and we saw a little bit of a pop up here in the S&Ps, but they've pulled back. Both sides published positive statements describing the talks as productive, and China Ministry called them constructive. Australian dollar rose to 67.72, while against the yen it rallied on the Aussie yen, but that has turned around for the Aussie dollar. I think there's a lot of nervousness around, said Shane Olivier Oliver, chief economist, AMP Capital, citing Middle East tensions and the U.S.-China trade war disputes. These things have a habit of escalating and de-escalating and then escalating again. It's a bit finely balanced at the moment. So that's where we stand here. And what we can do is we'll go in and like I said, we got to the news of the day. Essentially, the big news was these PMIs. We're seeing the euro pick up just a little bit here. As I mentioned, we had 966 off of this level right here. You can see that it's actually 65.9, so we'll call it 66. And we're working up a little bit higher here in the euro. So let's take a look where we stand here. So it says the euro has been capped by the 1075 and the downtrend line for the prior week. The pair is defended to the 110 level, which may be more about a $5 billion option strike expiring on Thursday than true buying. And we're seeing that obviously with the weaker PMIs. A break below 965 can drive the market to take out 109 even. So you can see that's what we're looking at, that 965/66 is what we're seeing for that key support. If we break below that and we garner some momentum, we're going to be heading for that 109 lickety split quick. So support right now, we'll go and put that right here. We mentioned the 966. We'll stick to what we had there in the analysis. So let's say 965. And resistance. It's going to be right there. 1026, but we've got to give a little bit more leeway. And this is where the real resistance comes in at 1033. There's that key level, that 1033. Remember, it's kind of worked as a pivot on the way up and on the way down last week. So let's go with that, 1033. And just to look ahead for the rest of the day, let's just go and pull this up real quickly. We did go and show the data. As we come in later on this morning into the U.S. session, we are going to have National Activity Index at 8:30 Eastern. Obviously, I'm in Texas, so I have this set for Central Standard Time, but Eastern is 1 hour ahead. So we'll have Canadian wholesale trade numbers at 8:30 Eastern, retail sales out of Mexico at 9 Eastern, and market flash for here in the States at 9:45 Eastern. Okay. Let's move this out of the way. Saw the boom pop up, but we did come into a little bit of a resistance area, and we are seeing the euro continue to move up a little bit higher from that 66. Now we're about 15 pips off of those lows. Bear with me. So it says the cable challenged the 26 level, coming up short, just below 20 and closing just below 25.03, the 38%. The pair is likely to take a pause. Resistance is 25.42, and I meant to say, I don't know why I put that on there. It's frustrating. Oh no, that's correct. Resistance is 25.42 with immediate support at 24.24. Followed by 23.52. So the low we put here for 24.24. Let's go and pull this back. The low this morning has been, oh, okay, not bad. 24.24. Well, 24.23. So that's our support that we had. 24.24. And take a look at today's resistance. Let's call it right there, 24, basically right there, 25. We'll just call it 24.97. And let's go into the Aussie. So it says the Aussie spent the bulk of the past week under pressure with the weak employment report, increasing the likelihood of a rate cut by the RBA. I do see it thinks tomorrow afternoon RBA governor will be speaking. I think it's tomorrow afternoon. I don't have the exact time. I can look on there. Bear with me. Yeah, RBA Governor Lowe gives a speech in Armadale. And let's see here. That's going to be at about nearly 6 a.m. Eastern, it appears. Nearly 6 a.m. Eastern. So but anyway, let's go and move back to the Aussie. Aussie spent the bulk of the past week under pressure with the weak employment report, increasing the likelihood of a rate cut by the RBA. Support comes in at 67.40. Bears are eyeing 65.50. The pair would require a daily close above 68.15 to stifle the bear case. So we're looking at 67.40 for support. So let's go on and put that. And for resistance, yeah, resistance is going to come in there at 68.15. 68.15. Let's go move into the Kiwi. The Kiwi finished the week at the support level of 62.55, while closing negative 7 out of the last 8 sessions. Bears are looking at 62 even, with a break lower targeting 60.72. Bears will reload on a test of 63.89. Well, right now we got 62.55, but we have the RBNZ coming up. Here's that 62 even here. 62.04. I mean, they're sitting on that 62.55. What we're going to do is there. We break that, then that's what we're going to be looking to go for, that 62.08. And looking at resistance. Let's call it right there, 63.09. There's a little bit more higher. That's with the real resistance. I mean, have a tough time getting past that. We'll go and log that 63.16. 63.16. And we had that from last week. It'll still remain the same. We'll move into the dollar CAD. Wow, S&Ps are really breaking harder now. We're already at 29.81, and it's putting pressure on the crude oil too. Dollar CAD remains in a rut, capped by 33 on the upside and 32.20 on the downside. The bulls need a daily close above 33.36 to spark a move with momentum. A daily close below 32 will send the pair to 30.75. So what's been on the short haul has been 33.07. But this is where the real resistance comes in, 32.36. So let's go with that 32.36 because we might even goose some stops. So we want to, it's going to be key, is going to be 33.36. And support. Well, it's going to be right here. Key support right there, 32.56. And that's where they could rotate back to and then find some intraday support. So. So the peso has defended the 1932 61% of this move from 1875 to 2025, albeit without much fanfare to the upside. Overall, bulls need a daily close above 1963 to kickstart upside momentum. A break of 1923.6 places bears in the driver's seat, eyeing 1892. So once again, we need to get above 1963. For right now, though, for today, before we gotta run, walk before you can run. So in this case, resistance is going to be for today 1956. And support is going to be 1937. We've marked that before. Let's move into the dollar yen. The dollar yen followed equities lower on Friday, closing below 108. Bias chart 752 did provide support. That was our bias chart support on Friday 52. Provided support, but that will be quickly challenged this week. Support is 712, followed by 676. Resistance is 808. So let's go and take a look what we stand here. Now, we did mention that 712. Let's see if we see anything else a little bit closer on the intraday chart. Yeah, right there at 738, 736. I tell you what, we're actually holding up a lot better than I would have expected in light of what equities are doing right now. So got to keep an eye on these equities because if they're starting to do a turn, look at something real quick. We may be starting to, make a move for a little bit lower price here in equities. Yeah, it sure looks a little bit toppy up here. Look on a daily chart on the S&Ps. Tell you what, let's go with that 712. 736 might be in the meantime, but we got a good chance of getting there to that 712, especially with the pressure we're seeing in equities. And resistance is going to be 788. 788. Now, when you look at this, it's still bullish for right now. I mean, I don't know. Well, we're still holding here, but we can quickly turn. So let's just put this right now. I don't want to say range, um, but we have started roll a little bit lower here, but can't see it's bearish yet. Although we've started to turn now. If you look on the exponential moving averages, we've already generated a sell here on the 2 hour, although generally we use that with the 30-minute. Let's see here. But had a pretty good run, and it's still, it'd still be listed as bullish for right now. Although certainly I think things are changing here. Let's go and move into the cash dollar index. The dollar index is mired in a tight range between 98.20 to 98.70. Bulls need a daily close above 98.80 to place the bears in jeopardy. A daily close below 98 will allow bears an opportunity to challenge 97. Value support is 97.58. So we're going to go with 97.80 because we said we need a daily close above 97.80 as our resistance. And I mean 98.80, so apologies. Support is going to be 98. Let's go move this a little bit lower, right there. 98.33. If we were to break below that, then that would to be 98.33. And with that, let's go and move into the cross rates. Okay, and we're seeing crude oil continue to move lower here. Really a byproduct of these weaker PMIs, so it's continued to stay weak. Okay, it says the Kiwi yen has continued to fade lower, coming into the value level of 67.15 with 66.68, the weekly level likely to be challenged this week. Resistance is 68.05. So we're going to go with 67.15 for the bias chart support. And resistance is going to be right there, 67.69. Well, I'll tell you what, right there with this little mini doji, 67.75. Let's go and move into the euro yen. The euro yen broke support level 1873 to finish the week. Immediate support is 1830. Well, we're actually below that, with the market looking to challenge 1770. Resistance is 1924, where bears will look to load up. So it's going to be 1770. You can see that's a huge level right here. So let's go with 1770. And resistance will be obviously this is being pressured because of the weakness that we're seeing in equities. And now we're making new lows in equities. We're at 29.81. Resistance will be 1858. And this is now bearish. The euro has broken higher with 4 successive days. The pair's resistance is 63.41. Confluence was 63.49, the 50%. Bears needed a daily close below 61.76. Well, obviously with the euro weaker, we kind of run out of gas right here. So in the meantime, let's take a look here. Support's going to be 61.76. Okay, that's huge right here for them. So 61.76 for support. And on the upside, there's resistance right there, 62.77. Let's go into the Euro Kiwi. The Euro Kiwi has completed a strong week, eclipsing resistance level 75.03. The pair is eyeing 77.16 with immediate resistance at 76 29. Obviously, the euro's pared back. Despite the weakness in the Kiwi, the euro is just that much more weaker at this point. Bulls will look to reload at support level of 74.02. A daily close below 73.09 would allow a challenge of 71.31. So let's go and take a look at this on an intraday. Resistance is going to be right there at 75. Actually, a case of 75.67. With support coming in at right there at the 23%. You can see also some touches right there. So it's going to be 74.71. Move on to the ASEAN. ASEAN was unable to sustain a move above key level 74.02. You can see that right there, that confluence with the 38%. The pair has the potential to challenge 71.32 with 72.28 offering initial support. Resistance is 73.42. So that's what we're looking at, 72.28. There's going to be some minor support just before that. You see that right there? 72.55. Problem is with this weakness in equities, we can still push even further. So let's go with the 72.28. Resistance. $73.21 for resistance. I don't see any news that's going to come out that's going to change things for equities at this point. That would push it all the way up to 73.47. I think they'll look to blow it up here. So 73, let's just call it right there, 73.28. Right now, it's still bullish. Although if we break below here, it's going to turn things around. But we have broken below here. We get below here, we could by tomorrow it could turn to bearish. Let's go move on to the guppy. See gold's breaking out a little bit. We're at 15.20 right now. Well, that's on the spot. Let's go into the guppy. Guppy has paused ahead of the 36 level after a strong 2-week run that challenged 35.17, which is a 38%. Support comes in at 33.29, with bulls looking to reload at 32.26. So let's go with that 33.29. Resistance. It's going to be 34.48. 34.48. And let's go to Sterling Odd. Sterling Odd is broken higher, maintaining a close above 84.14. Friday session suggests the pair may need to take a pause. You can see this medium-legged doji right there. May need to take a pause. Support comes in at 83.16, followed by 82.60. A close below 82 neutralizes the upside momentum. So you can see here this medium, I don't know if you can call it, just not almost like a medium-legged doji. So generally, if it was a long-legged doji, then for sure. But generally, what you'll see is the market pull back from what's been the most recent run. So probably see a little bit of a pullback. To 83.16. Yeah, that's good. 83.16 for support. And for resistance, it's going to be 84 even right there. 84 even. Or call it 84.01. Let's go and move into the S&Ps. Here's the 2-hour chart. You can see we're rolling down here. Support comes in at 29.75. Here, a little bit of nice volume. Let's take a look and see what we're looking at as far as pullback. A lot of people were talking about new highs again. No new highs. 29.65 is going to be the 23%. That makes kind of sense too, because that would overshoot this area. So 29.65 potentially. And if you look at this from a daily standpoint, see how this market looks pretty tight. You had 2 gravestone dojis, then you come back and get a hanging man, then another hanging man, then we start to drop. The market looks pretty tired at this point. So I think that'd be reasonable, 29.65, and we might be looking for further lower because now, as we're at the end of September, October can be a little bit of a spooky time. So I'm not trying to be funny with the Halloween thing, but I'm saying is we've seen a lot of corrections. Usually, quite often they happen more towards the first week of October, maybe the first 10 days of October. But that's my thoughts on the yen. You see what I'm saying? So we've already seen, look, you can see here, 10-year yields pulling back down. Gold popping up a little bit, but I think this weakness right here also has to do with the poor European PMIs, and that certainly put pressure on that. Matter of fact, we saw crude oil take a dip right off of those, and they rolled lower on those PMIs, and of course now they've even accentuated that move a little bit lower here. Gold, we were able to go and break out. This is frustrating because actually I bought gold and I ended up getting stopped out and should pay a little bit closer attention. I mean, that was on Friday, but I'm saying is because we were coming, if you look on here in this breakout, all we did was we come down here and we just retested back in here. Some people were looking for lower, but I was thinking, no, I think we're going to be able to, hold up. So, really should just held a little bit longer because look at that. Then we obviously the China news made a big difference. And that's what we took off, but we did rebound a bit here. But the China news sent us higher. We kind of fiddle-faddled around. Now we're pushing a little bit higher again. I think this has more to do with the concerns that we're seeing in equities. That's all we have for today. Good luck trading today, and thanks for joining us here on the European Crossover webinar.